I want to talk about the recent brawl that was held in Montgomery, Alabama. And of course, many people have been talking about it, the memes, the jokes, the reports on social media and in the regular media made me do some serious thinking about that. Of course, my second daughter lives in Montgomery, so my antenna went up initially when I heard about what was going on there. And of course, I looked at the video several times. But I'm of the age group that is very concerned about what happened and the response, which was justified. And I'm worried about what's going to happen next. And you're probably saying, well, don't worry about what's going to happen next. The way things look, there won't be any problem. Now, we have got to write our own narrative about what happened there. And our narrative might be different from the narrative of the media. And I think we need to give it a lot of serious consideration. We need to talk about it over the dinner table. We need to talk about it in schools. We need to talk about it in churches. And we need to come to grips with what we saw happen in that video. I heard somebody say, well, at that time, Black people stuck together. Well, you know, we've always stuck together. Don't let anybody tell you that we don't stick together. Now, those people who say we don't stick together have not understood our history and how far we have come. And I think we need to really talk about that in groups. We need to go back and do some research, and we need to look at racism in this country, not only in Alabama, but all over the United States, so that we can make certain that this kind of thing, the things that happened in the past, don't happen again. When somebody says to me that we don't stick together, don't you know that there were revolutions during slavery? Do you think those slaves just stood back and did nothing? Of course they did a lot. There were revolutions all the time, but they won't tell you about it. Why do you think they would tell you about that? They don't want you to know that there were insurrections, that there were times when our people said, this is enough, and we did some things to make it happen. Now, I was concerned about the brawl in Montgomery because when I saw that young man just attacked that way, I said to myself, now, suppose he had been alone. There was no boat. There were no people around. There was no one to put it on a camera. Do you know that man could have been lynched? He could have been beat up, put in that boat, and taken out to the middle of the river, and we never would have seen him again, because that is our history. Our people stuck together then, but they also have stuck together in the past in many ways. How do you think the Black colleges got started? Because our people stuck together. They knew they wanted an education for their children, and they put pennies together, nickels and dimes, because you know they didn't have jobs that made a lot of money. So they had to put nickels and dimes and pennies together, have bake sales, pie sales. You heard of Mary McLeod Bethune and how she got Bethune-Cookman College going, selling pies. And we rallied around those people who wanted to see that we got a better education, and they did all they could. And now we have Black colleges all over the country. Now, that's just one thing. When you think about the towns that we had, and for some trumped up charge, the other people came in, killed, burned, and did all kinds of things. But we still tried to stay together as a community when we had to disperse to other parts of the country. And when we found ourselves moving north for better education, better jobs, better livelihoods for our families, we still met opposition. You know what? They just don't understand that we have always stuck together. Don't let anybody tell you that we don't work together, stick together. How do you think we have existed all of these years when they thought by now we would have been gone? So I'm going to keep my eyes on what's going on in Montgomery. And I know you will too, because we're very concerned about that. But also keep your eyes on what is happening nationwide and what's going on. I think there are going to be some repercussions. I hope not. I hope this will be taken for what it was, merely a brawl that got out of hand, and it will stop there. Only time will tell. Let's keep our eyes open and see what happens.